All right, well, welcome everybody. We've got a number of meetings to go through, and so the first item is the Tulsa International Airport Development Trust. We'll take that one first. Today's Thursday, September 8th, 2022, and it's still 8:30, I think. So I'll call the meeting of trustees of the Tulsa International Airport Development Trust to order. You have in your packet minutes of September 9th, 2021 annual meeting, and I would, no objections, I'd ask for approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Annual election of officers. We need a chairman, a vice chairman, and a secretary. And do you have any nominations?
I thought you said you wanted to do this again. I'd like to nominate Joe Robson for chair and Ken Harrell as vice chair.
Okay, and then the secretary would be
Jeff.
Jeff Shaw.
Sorry.
All right. Any other nominations? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
I'll second it.
Or
I'll
second,
second
we
it,
need a
yes, sir.
second, yeah. I'm just trying to get through this. Contemplating, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Annual Secretary's Report.
Briefly, thank you, sir. Pursuant to the bylaws of the Tulsa International Airport Development Trust, I hereby submit this letter as the annual report of Secretary of TIADT. It's a mouthful, right? Since the last annual meeting on September 9, 2021, the trustees scheduled one meeting for March 10, 2022. However, that meeting was canceled. At the annual meeting of TIADT on September 9, 2021, the following slate of officers were elected: Chairman Joe Robson, Vice Chairman Kent Harrell, Secretary Jeff Shaw. On November 3, 2021, TIADT, through its attorney of record, made a request to the Tulsa County Assessor for a determination of total assessed value of all taxable property within increment district number 20, the city of Tulsa, and certification of that amount as the base assessed value. And that's it.
Okay. We need to
Just receiving.
have a motion to accept that, or is it just a report? Okay,
Motion to receive the report.
Okay, go ahead.
we can do that. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Financial, no. Looking at the wrong agenda.
Number 5.
Number 5, approve TAIT invoices for reimbursement.
Yeah, approved TAIT invoices for reimbursement of services rendered by TAIT staff and outside legal, environmental, and surveying services in the amount of $99,493.97. This invoice covers airport staff time, legal fees, and other expenses from 2013 to date.
Okay,
Other expenses would be environmental.
okay.
Thanks.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no.
That was Michael Willis.
Yes.
Okay.
Any old business, new business, have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. And the next we'll go to TMAT, and that's in the very back, and you guys are done, so thank you all
Thank
for
you for your
being
time.
here. We'd be happy to have you stay and
Hardly worth brushing your
and
teeth.
Oh,
listen.
no, my pleasure. It's been an honor. Thank
Right
you.
there. Bye, Michael.
Thank
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
So we'll call the meeting of the trustees of the Tulsa Municipal Airport Trust to order. And we have minutes from January 13, 2022 to approve. Motion. So moved.
I don't have to second that. I don't think I was here though. Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries.
Joe will be voting on.
Aye. Yeah. Annual election of officers.
I nominate for chair Joe Robson and for vice chair Ken Harrell and for secretary Jeff Shaw.
Okay. Second,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. And we need to receive the annual secretary's report.
All right, thank you. Pursuant to the bylaws of the Tulsa Municipal Airport Trust, I hereby submit this letter as the annual report of the Secretary of TMAT since its last annual meeting on September 9, 2021. At the annual meeting, at the annual meeting of TMAT on September 9, 2021, the following slate of officers were elected: Joe Robson, Chair; Vice Chair Kent Harrell; Secretary Jeff Shaw. At the December 9, 2021 meeting of the trustees, received and reviewed the audited financial statements for fiscal year ended May 31, 2021. Regier, Carr, and Monroe continue to provide record keeping, accounting, and administrative services to TMAT and delivered quarterly financial statements and a schedule of plant and equipment to the TMAT trustees during the year. RCM has completed the preparation of financial statements of TMAT for the fiscal year ended May 31, 2022, and will submit TMAT's year-end financial statements to Conklin, Gilpin, and Works PLLC for purposes of annual audit. The annual audited financial statements should be completed and submitted to the trustees by November 30, 2022, in accordance with requirements of Oklahoma law and the terms of the bond indentures governing the revenue bonds previously issued by TMAT. At the January 13, 2022 meeting, trustees approved the amended and restated lease by and between TMAT and American Airlines, and it restated the lease that was entered into June 24, 1958, and all of its 18 amendments. So happy to do that. And that's
Yes.
it.
All right. Any old business? Any new business? Have a motion to adjourn Tulsa Municipal Airport Trust.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I voted yes. So,
I'll just, we'll just incorporate that.
Just say yes, because I read the agenda. I don't have any objection to anything. So if I don't say yes, just put me down with the yes.
All right, I will.
All right, so we'll call the combined meeting, Tulsa Airports Improvement Trust and the Tulsa Airport Authority. Have the approval of the minutes of August 11th, 2022. Have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. Election of officers. You're doing so well. You want to do it again?
I would like to nominate Joe Robson as chair, Ken Harrell as vice chair, and Jeff Shaw as secretary.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Financial and operating reports.
No, I didn't.
No, submittal of secretary's annual
Oh,
report.
Sorry, we have to do this.
No.
Okay, dear trustees, the state bylaws require annual secretary's report, which summarizes the affairs of the trust between annual meetings. I'm submitting this letter in compliance with the bylaws. The annual report addresses the period from September 9, 2021 through yesterday, 2022. Each of the 11 regular or special meetings of TAIT were memorialized by taking of minutes and approved by the trustees. The meeting scheduled for February 10, 2022 was canceled. I am incorporating by reference the approved minutes of each of those meetings in this letter. During the annual report period, the following significant events took place. September 21, the trustees elected the officers. December 10, 2021, the trustees received the TAIT financial report fiscal year ended June 30, 2021, along with other related reports prepared by RSM. The trustees approved the 5-year capital improvement plan for fiscal years 23 through 27 for the Tulsa International Airport and Tulsa Riverside Airport. As approved, the CIP for Tulsa identified 23 projects totaling $102 million. And the approved CIP for RBS identified 3 projects totaling $9.1 million. June 9, trustees approved fiscal year July 1, 2022 through June 30, 2023 TAIT budget, the schedule of rates, fees, and charges, and the operating budget for the management of the parking system. The annual TAIT budget of $58,346,899 is comprised of the numbers on the chart below. In addition, TAIT approved the parking system management budget of $1,708,115, which is also included in the budget above. July 6, 2022, S&P Global issued a rating action for TAIT, upgrading its long-term credit rating, as well as TAIT's underlying credit rating on its general airport revenue bonds from A- to A stable. This upgrade reflects a strong passenger recovery trends and financial resiliency during a period of materially depressed activity. The performance of the airport will help support financial metrics consistent with a strong financial risk profile. Grant funding during the annual report period, TAIT approved up to $17,141,143 from the following FAA grants. And it also includes the Rescue Relief Program, AIP, and an INCOG. And I won't read those off. The INCOG grant is for the EV fueling stations. So during the annual report period, TAIT staff negotiated, drafted, and processed approximately 215 contract documents, which included subleases, licenses, consent, construction and professional services agreement, and IT-related contracts. Regarding air service development, American Airlines added nonstop flights to Washington, D.C., Austin, and Miami in November 2021. American also announced new daily nonstop service to New York City beginning in November 2022. Allegiant Air launched nonstop service to Phoenix in November 2021, as well as Sarasota in 2021. Southwest Airlines added 2 new markets with daily nonstop service to Austin, April 22, and twice daily service to Chicago Midway in June 2022. Breeze Airways will begin nonstop service to Nashville in June 2022. These additions will bring our total nonstop destinations to 26, which is the most in the airport's history.
All right, thank you for that report. Next will be Fabio.
I'll go first.
You're gonna go
If
first?
that's okay with you.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm dyslexic this morning.
No, it's okay.
Put them out of order.
We can spice things up. I'm sorry. But I'll go ahead and kick things off. First, I wanted to introduce a few people that are in our audience today. We have promoted Cole Brown to our Director of Operations position. Cole has been with the airport for 7 years, started out on our airfield maintenance team and quickly moved up to airfield maintenance leader position. He also has served in our building services group, our facilities as a facility support specialist. Cole took advantage of our tuition reimbursement program. And while he was here, he got his associate's degree and his bachelor's degree. Last year, he achieved his CM designation through the American Association of Airport Executives.
Great.
So he's committed in all the right ways, but the most important way is his commitment to our people. I think that's what's really spurred his success. And I really look forward to him leading the operations team and continuing to grow in his role at the airport.
Great. That's a great story. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also, I'd like to introduce Sarah Johnson, who's back here in the red. Sarah is our intern for this semester. She is a student at OSU studying aerospace administration and operations. She's also a private pilot, and she's from Collinsville, Oklahoma, so not too far away.
Great.
She gets to spend time with each different area over her 16-week or so stint here at the airport. Today, she's with the facility support group. So she's out in the terminal, looking at things that are broken, identifying ways to make improvements, working with our subcontractors that are doing various things from janitorial to pest control to all those different things that facility supports
Okay.
helps us with. So glad to have Sarah with us.
Yeah.
Since we last met, we did have our FAA Part 139 inspection. This is something that the FAA does annually, where they come in and spend a lot of time out on the airfield. They're out there during the day, they come out at night. They want to make sure that our airfield meets all of the compliance requirements. And our inspector was here last year, so this was the second time coming, but he just loves this airport. I mean, I was getting texts from Paul and Cole while they were out with him. And I mean, some of the quotes, I used some of these quotes, Paul, I hope you don't kill me. But these are some of the things he said. You guys are so far above other airports I inspect. You need to be proud of what you have, and you need to show off your equipment. The equipment room or warehouse, garage, whatever you call it, Cole, out on the north side just was immaculate and spotless. And he said it's the Taj Mahal of airport equipment buildings. He was also very impressed with the ingenuity our airfield maintenance team had, and a piece of equipment that they've developed to maintain the 3-inch lip requirement that we have to meet for where any of our pavement runs off into the, on the edge lines. And he wanted to show other airports, like, this is how you do it. And maybe we should patent that, Cole, and we can sell it to other airports.
Not non-airline revenue.
Right. But all in all, he was very impressed. Now, that being said, we didn't have a perfect inspection. He did identify a few areas that we are looking at. Some we've taken immediate action to address. For instance, we need to be issuing NOTAMs whenever there is a discrepancy identified during an airfield inspection that doesn't meet standard. So even if it's something for 6 hours or 10 hours, the evening guy notices it, the next day the airfield maintenance team comes in and addresses it, we have to issue NOTAMs. We do that a lot of the times, but he just was able to identify a couple of times that we failed to do that. So Cole's put processes in place to ensure that we address that appropriately going forward. One of our FBOs had missed some training that's required. Our FBOs provide fueling services, and so it's important that they have all of the required training in order to conduct that operation safely. That day, the FBO supervisor went and got the required training that they needed to bring them into compliance. But again, it's just something that we want to make sure that we're auditing on a more regular basis so that that doesn't happen in the future. And then we had some fuel trucks that were not parked. They have to be parked at least 10 feet apart from each other. And so that's something, again, our team went out, addressed that very quickly. We had some conversations with our fueling operators to make sure they were aware of that requirement. And so all of these things, while minor, are things that the FAA wanted to make sure that we were aware of. And so Cole has replied with a response to their notice of finding, and we're waiting to get the FAA's response and basically a closure letter from them that those items have been addressed. But overall, I think the FAA inspector was very pleased with his visit to Tulsa.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
So you and your staff are not only responsible for all things Tulsa International Airport, but you're also responsible for making sure all the tenants, which are about 100, I guess, are in compliance. So that's really a big deal, I think.
Yeah.
Congratulations, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think the FAA can inspect our files at any time, whether it's on the airfield, it's training records, it's contract files. I mean, they can come in at any time and look at our operation to make sure we're meeting all of the regulations that we're required to do. So
Good job.
thank you. We did get to celebrate Aviation Day, August 19th, and our team put together quite an adventure for aviation enthusiasts. We had every local TV station participate, and then we had a group of aviation bloggers come out. We took them over to Tech Ops at American Airlines. They met with Southwest Airlines here on the ramp to learn about ramp operations. All in all, it generated news stories reaching 2.5 million people. And then the bloggers, or av geeks is what they're called, their combined audience had 112,000 followers. And then American Airlines ended up retweeting everything that we did, especially the pieces that were over there at their facility. There's a picture of the group at their facility. So we got 6 million additional views from those posts.
Right.
So it was a great event. Kudos to our marketing and customer experience teams for hosting that group. I did have a couple of dates I wanted to mention. Next Tuesday is the RVS Master Plan meeting. It's the second public meeting where we will be going over the alternatives, some of which we discussed at the meeting last month. We did add a fourth alternative, which was looking to the north for expansion. Those cost estimates came in super high, much more expensive than going to the south. And so that's all stuff that we'll
Because of the
review.
railroad and
Because of the
all the
railroad,
other stuff,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. And we'd actually have to tunnel 81st Street under the runway in order to make that happen. So it gets a little.
Yeah.
You know, I was gonna say ridiculous, but. September 15th, next Thursday's flight night at Riverside Airport. And so whether you're attending or whether you're just a fan, you can go watch their demonstration flights really from anywhere on the airfield. So they'll be doing an evening, like before dark demonstration. And then at night, they'll come out and have some night flying as well. And then Sunday, September 18th is 918 day. And our team is planning from about, I think, 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. that morning until 9 p.m. that night. We're going to do welcome wagon. We have people in 918 shirts. We're going to welcome incoming flights and give them some TUL swag and let them know they've reached the 918. So we're going to have a little fun with that. You guys are welcome to come out if you'd like to participate. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Our volunteers, our employees, and our welcome wagon dogs will all have a 918 branded shirt or handkerchief bandana thing on. So it'll be fun. And then Friday, October 7th is our charity golf tournament. And this is something our employees put on because the airport can't provide financial donations to nonprofits. This is a way for us to raise money so that the employees can direct giving back into the community. Since we've had these, I think our first tournament was in 2018, 17, 18. We've made donations to 31 agencies. And so it's an important thing. Our employees enjoy participating and hosting it. And then it's a way for us to be engaged with the community. So
Is there a committee that chooses those?
yes, there is the Charitable Giving Committee. They have a quarterly meeting and review those submissions. We really try to look at supporting entities close to the airports where we operate. So like McKinley and Mitchell Elementary are some that are more recurring in terms of donations to their PTOs and things that they need. And then it's just what's important to that, to that team that represents our employees. And so maybe they've had an experience like the Calm Center is one that we've provided donations to. But I mean, it's a range of organizations. We, for instance, don't provide a sponsorship to Flight Night from an airport perspective because those are quite expensive. But through this committee, we can provide a contribution to that to show our support for that.
Okay.
So
Good.
yeah,
That's exciting.
it's a great way for us to be able to continue to participate in those types of things. And the golf tournament's a lot of fun. Too. So it's a nice, diversion for our employees that day. So October 7th, hope for good weather.
Good. All right. All right, Bobby, I know you've been waiting and I teased you.
Well, today I'm going to go over where we stand July 2022 compared to July 2021. In the past, I've done kind of a calendar year-to-date activity comparison as well. I started to do that. It really didn't make sense because of the way our activity kind of fell in those periods. So I'm just going to continue forth with the fiscal year comparative. Next month we'll have fiscal year to date. Looking at July over July, we continue to grow. Our revenues continue to exceed previous comparative months, 12% up, about $500,000, 450,000 difference between July over July. Our expenses are a little higher, 19% higher, but our budget's higher this fiscal year compared to last fiscal year, and the cost of doing business has increased significantly over the last 12 months. Net operating income before depreciation in a strong position. That $2 million will go towards our debt service as well as our operating capital purchases, which is one of our largest budgets in that category over the years. Looking at food and beverage, we continue to grow. Not quite where we were in 2019, but we're still making strides to increase our revenues there. 41% over where we were in July of 21. And our retail steady growth, 2% over where we were in July of 21.
Are the food and beverage folks, are they still having trouble getting help?
I believe everybody is.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just
they
kinda-
are, but
Yeah.
are all the venues open or?
Yes,
Okay.
they are all open. Sherry has been communicating with our operators regularly. We've met with them about a month ago or so, just to reiterate what our expectations are. So we have everything open per contract until the last flight departs, and the first thing opens at 4 a.m. So
Good deal. All right.
Our activity for parking increased 13% higher than it was in July of last year. Our revenue will see a significant increase, but we also increased our rates effective July 1, 2022. So we'll track our activity as a metric, a more accurate metric of growth in parking. Ground transportation revenue up 32% over last July. Steady increase. Prior to that, we were talking about the rate change. We're actually at a same rate structure now. So we are seeing significant increases in that activity. Transaction days up 11% for rent cars, and RVS having a really good July compared to last July, up 8% in operations, 10% in fuel. And our passenger and plane passengers are up 10% from where we were last July. And we're relatively flat in our cargo, down slightly, but 0% change there. Looking at our fiscal year revenue tracking, we're a little higher this month than we were last month, which is great. We're having carrying that momentum forth into the new fiscal year. This is our highest July since July of 2020, where we were just under $4 million in revenue. Now we're exceeding $4 million in monthly revenue. And, you know, we look forward, we have an aggressive budget for this fiscal year, but we feel we have the momentum to carry us and achieve that revenue budget. Operating expenses, right in line really with previous Julys, $2 million, slightly higher than previous months, but pretty close to in line. You remember we had that spike at the end of last fiscal year. We were doing fiscal year end true-ups. A lot of our R&M materials came in at the end of that year, kind of causing that spike, but we're operating at a $26 million operating budget. And with the increases in what we need to achieve and the cost of doing business, we'll probably start to come closer to that budget as we continue in the fiscal year. Passenger enplanements, healthy trajectory. We're following that seasonal trend, up slightly from where we were last year, but not as high as July's numbers, just a shade under where July was of last year, but we're still in that following that trend and we fully recovered there. Looking at our budget to actual, this just is a 1 month snapshot. You can see our revenues just really are drilled under that $4 million. Our revenues for air carriers up 12%, up for terminal 12%. Our parking, again, different rate structure, but up 31%, almost a $400,000 increase in our parking revenues and rental cars. And our miscellaneous revenue, which is primarily our CFC revenues and investments, up as well. Expenses all below budget for a savings or a difference of about $161,000, and we're carrying about $750,000 more than we thought we would towards our debt service and our capital purchases. So strong start to the fiscal year. When you compare us to last fiscal year, kind of a drill down of that first slide. Again, the categories that are exceeding are parking, obviously the revenue rate change driving that, as well as the increase in activity. But our air passenger carriers are up about 5%, which is about $56,000. And our expenses slightly higher by about 19%. Again, it's a different world than it was in July 2021. And our final slide here is our days of cash on hand. We're sitting at about $24 million, just a shade under of our unrestricted liquid cash on hand. Burn rate of $81,000 puts us at just under 300 days of cash on hand at 295. 2 months into the fiscal year for our debt service has decreased from previous year. And we're looking pretty good with our coverage there. We have a little over a month's worth of coverage, almost 2 months worth of coverage for our debt service. Any questions?
Questions for Fabio? Great, good report. We got some bid and award contracts.
Yes, sir.
Who's taking those?
I'll take those.
Okay,
So number 5, accept bid and award contract for passenger boarding bridge preventative maintenance and inspection services with Elite Line Services Incorporated, the lowest responsible bidder. An amount not to exceed $80,531.55 for 1 year with 4 one-year renewal options, including an annual 5% price escalation effective November 1st, 2022. There are 3 bids received ranging from $80,531 to $353,600. So Elite Line Services will provide quarterly inspections of the passenger boarding bridges, and then provide preventative maintenance, and then also provide on-call services for us throughout the year.
okay. So was that part of the RFP, the not to exceed? It just seems strange that somebody would come in exactly.
That was the price that was bid. It
Okay,
was that price that was bid.
okay,
So, and there's been a lot of consolidation within this industry for the passenger boarding bridge. Brian called Elite yesterday and got some information from them. The 3 companies that bid, the one that Elite's out of Dallas, one out of Minneapolis, and one out of Indiana. And these companies are really focusing on the bigger contracts, the airports that have a lot. And so,
Yeah.
so the price range is significantly different. It's also significantly different than what we were expecting. So we initially had budgeted 45,000 for this.
okay,
So through the fiscal year, though, it'll be an increase of $15,000 for the fiscal year because it falls within. But we have the cash and the budget to make up for that. But these companies is significantly higher in today's market than what we were expecting.
Okay.
Some risk involved.
and certifying them and all that, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Certify it and then it doesn't work or something happens and, yeah.
So
Okay.
we would recommend approval for this contract.
All right, have a motion,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, gas sales.
All right, number 6, approve gas sales agreement with Symmetry Energy Solutions LLC effective August 1, 2022 for 1 year for the purchase of natural gas for Tulsa International Airport. The price is equivalent to the current inside Federal Energy Regulatory Commission's gas market report for One Oak plus 24.5 cents per million BTUs. So this price is the same price that the city of Tulsa pays. So we're actually, it's the same contract that the city of Tulsa has with Symmetry and the same margin that the city of Tulsa is paying. So it is a significant increase from last year's, but with the rise in energy costs, it's not surprising.
But this is set for a year.
It's set for 1 year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So management recommends approval of this.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I guess with 3 ayes. Officially, I'm supposed to say, is anybody opposed?
I got you, Joe.
I have it. Motion is approved. Contracts.
Good morning, I'm Brian Ossaker with the engineering group, sitting in for the vacationing Frank Relja. So I'll take these items. Number 7, accept selection and approve award of agreement for professional services to Myers Cherry Construction in an amount not to exceed $1,014,268. This is for the utility tunnel cleanup project.
Okay. There's a lot of work to be done down there.
Yes, have you been down there?
I just heard about it.
Okay.
I'm not sure I want to go.
I can give you a tour after.
Yeah,
Yeah, lot of abandoned stuff and
decades.
Yeah. just,
Yes.
okay.
Approval.
Second,
All in favor, say aye. Opposed, no. Motion carries. Change order.
Yes, if we can take items 8 and 9 together.
Okay.
Item 8, approve change order number 1 with Barnes Construction Solutions in the amount of $2,325 for the terminal sidewalk repair project. And similar item, change of quantities, number 1 with Barnes Construction Solutions in the amount of $23,485.86 for that same project.
Have a motion.
move approval items 8 and 9.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Number 10.
And 10 and 11. 10 is approved change of quantities. Number 1 with Darius Contractors in the amount of $1,620. This is for the runway 826 safety area drainage system improvements project. And 11 is to accept that project and approve final payment to Darius in the amount of $34,255.46.
We can take those together. Have a motion for 10 and 11.
Moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those no. We like lesser amounts. When it's
Makes it
negative.
easy.
Motion is approved.
I would just add, Darius Contractors was a pretty impressive organization. This was their first time working out at the airport, from what I understand. And they're way ahead of their time schedule to get this project
Wow.
complete. So,
Under budget and
Yes.
under time. So
Yes.
that's good. Okay. Property development leases.
Another substitute today. Number 12 is to approve amendment number 1 to sublease and license agreement with ABM Aviation to increase the square footage and adjust the rentals. This will be effective retroactively to September 1. This is our partner who manages the wheelchair services for our passengers, and we would recommend approval.
Okay.
Motion approval number 12.
Second,
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Motion carries. No executive session. Any other business? Motion to adjourn.
Move.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, no. We're adjourned. Thank you.